Well, hey guys, how's it going, garden friends? This video is pretty informal and kind of quick, but I'm doing some stuff in my Oregon yard. The rain finally stopped and it's really nice outside. There's a lot of people out in their yards as well just because the rain is over for a minute. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this garden bed behind me all cleaned up. It's got a lot of perennials in it, some Shasta daisy and some daylily, and it needs tidied up. So I'm gonna get going on this and just take you along for the journey and show you what I know and try to beat the rain. All right, well, I'm out here trying this again today. It was too rainy the other day, but I've got some daylilies and Shasta daisies that really need to be cut back, especially these. They're so gross looking. So I'm gonna be working on this area. And then if I have time and if the weather holds, I might swing around to the side yard and work over there as well. But let's go ahead and get these cleaned up. As I started working in the yard, I just realized how beautiful it was outside. I could hear the birds chirping. It was a little bit chilly, but still really pleasant. So I started out by pulling out all of these spent daylilies, and it cleaned up the area so quickly. Then I moved on to trimming back all of the Shasta daisies. Now I had done one trim back on these in the fall, but you can see a lot of the spent foliage, and underneath all of that is some new growth. So it's time to reveal some of that new growth and give it more light and more air so that coming this spring, it can just flourish. I find having the pop-up bag for projects like this is really useful. Then I moved on to this patch of Gara. It really needed trimmed back. There's two white ones here and a pink one. Well, the rain has held off, so I'm gonna get over here in this side area and clean up some of this. I was kind of leaving it for some winter interest, but I mean, it's looking pretty. It's pretty tired. I do have some yarrow that's blooming though. It's really pretty. Got this on here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and cut all of that back. And let's see what else. I'm gonna cut these back. These are some irises. I've got more of that Rebecca here. You can see there's still a couple little blooms hanging on. And then back here, I had some of these multi-branching sunflowers, and I don't think they're gonna come back. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to cut these back as well. I've got this hydrangea that needs deadheaded, and then more of the Shasta daisies that need to be cut back. I do have a lavender here that's still blooming a little bit. There's a couple little fresh blooms on that. This is a sedum that I'm gonna trim back. And let's see, what else do we have? More of the Rebecca. This is a oh gosh, you guys, I'm forgetting names and stuff. I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm just going to get going on stuff. And then this is like the massive rose that I planted, and it is just, it's huge. I mean, look at the base of it. This is the first year I've had it in the ground. So I definitely need to get going on this. I don't know if that's going to happen today. I think I might do my roses a different day and just work on, you know, here's another sedum that needs cleaned up. There's some stuff back here that needs cleaned up as well. So I might just work on some of this, you know, lower stuff and not worry about the trees and the rose today. I'm gonna have to do these trees a different day. But I'm definitely gonna get in here and try to tidy up this side yard because it's looking pretty gross. You know, it's time. It's just been raining nonstop, so I haven't had any time to get out here, but I'm gonna try to get after some of this today. So in this area, I'm just going to start on one end and sort of work my way down this long side garden bed. Now for the iris, I didn't cut back every single green strappy foliage, but just the ones that had a yellow look to them. Then I moved on to the Rebecca. These multi-branching sunflowers I had staked up in the summer, so here I had to pull all the stakes out and just trim them back. Unfortunately, I don't think that these two plants will return next year, but that's okay. I can plant a different annual here. It's funny to me watching this footage back, realizing how many cars go by. Honestly, I don't even notice them. When I'm gardening, I'm kind of in the zone. Another thing I struggle with as a gardener here in the Pacific Northwest are slugs and snails. So that's another reason to be cutting back these perennials today, is to kind of get rid of that environment where they can thrive. In this garden bed, I also have just a year-old pear tree and apple tree. And this is going to be my first year, treating them and cutting them back. So be sure to stay tuned for some videos about that. It's amazing how much it can transform a space to just do a little cleanup like this in the wintertime. This is kind of cool, so I thought I'd show you. So this plant, I forget the name of it, you guys. I'll try to find it and drop the name, but it's got these really pretty pink flowers, but you can almost see where like the new growth is going to start. And then all this like scraggly, last season's growth all around it. Look at this one, you can really see it. So there's like some fresh growth versus all this stuff just kind of flopped over and laying around. So I really want to get these cleaned up. They are really pretty for cut flowers. And then I had to show you this. Look at this cool, like fungi. Look at this. I'm gonna have to look up the name of it, you guys, but isn't this interesting? Here, I'm gonna get that out of there. Isn't that beautiful? Look at it. I was like, cutting stuff and I'm like, sorry, that's a car going by. I was cutting stuff and I was like, oh, is that a flower? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a fungus. So again, I'll have to do more research, but I just thought it was the most pretty thing. It's amazing the surprises you find, in the garden. Also, this Rebecca is just like loving its life out here and kind of blooming its head off, but I think I'd go in and trim it anyway. I might leave some of these blooms up, but I might not. I might just whack it back. I mean, it'll come back next year, but I couldn't believe how good it's looking, really. And then another thing that's kind of cool is the hydrangeas. You can see where they're already starting to put on buds, a new growth, which is just crazy to me. I mean, a lot of this stuff is really dormant, but it's amazing how you can start to see already the new season's growth there. Isn't that cool? All right, well, I'm gonna get started on cutting this back because I can feel raindrops hitting my head all of a sudden. So I really wanna try to finish this before the rain starts back up again. This is one plant that I could have trimmed back in the fall rather than waiting until, midwinter to trim it back. But honestly, I just didn't get a chance. Sometimes you have gardening tasks that you just plain don't get around to them. More of those fungus. I found one there. You can see them. It's got bright orange, and then there's one more over here, I think, or maybe it's just a piece of one. Maybe I accidentally. No, it's growing there. Isn't that funky? Pretty interesting. I left this Rebecca up. Most of it, I just kind of deadheaded it and cleaned up the base, but it's still blooming, so I'm gonna leave it up. Like I said, I'm gonna do my rose and my tree another day, but I think just to finish up, I'm gonna go grab my little rake and do a little raking because there's areas like this where there's just like a lot of leaves. And, I could pull some of that away from the base of the plant. So like this situation, everything here gets so mushy and mildewy. And so, I mean, if we were in a place with more snow or something, I would say, leave all that protection at the base of the plants, all those leaves. But for here, I'm just dealing with, mush, basically. So like rot is my enemy, So I'm gonna grab my rake and just kind of clean this area up. Since I've been out here working, I really want it to look fresh when I'm done. So I finished off the day with a little bit of raking, and as I did, I just, thought about the spring. I'm so excited to see all these plants come back to life when it's not so cold and gloomy. Okay, well, I got this project done today. I feel so much better about the way that this area looks. It's all like tidied up. I definitely need to do my rose still and the fruit trees, but I'll get to that another day. It's really fun to see my roses over here too are starting to, I don't know, I guess they're not coming to life yet, but they're on their way, right? And yeah, everything looks great. Finding that little fungus was kind of a fun little surprise, but yeah, everything looks a lot better. The rain is here, so I just beat it. I had just a little bit of time out here, and I think it looks really tidied up and nice. So I'm excited to have that done. And then this area too looks a lot better. I mean, I definitely still could do more. Actually, I should grab that rake. I already threw it in the backyard. Shoot, well, I'll have to do that another day, but I should rake this out. It actually would look a lot better if I did real quick. But like I said, it's starting to rain already. And then one of these days I need to get out here and start raking this, but it is still winter, so, you know, that's kind of what it looks like for the winter. But once I remove all those pine needles, it looks a lot better. So anyway, excited to have those projects done today. Area looks a lot better. I got all that Gara cut back and some more Rebecca. So it just looks tidy over here. And pretty soon I'll be fertilizing my blueberries and kind of going through them. So that's a project coming for winter as well. But for now, at least that front area is kind of cleaned up. And I think I'm going to be doing something different here this year anyway. So more to come on that. Yeah, for me guys, I'm gonna head back inside, and thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you need me, I'll be doing some gardening. I'll see you next time. Bye. It is dumping. You can watch it blowing across the street.